New Mexico is drenched in art. We are famous for it and we are proud of it. However, there is a really squirrely art deal that you don't know much about, but you should. Because even though you have put $500,000 into it, you're not allowed to see it. Tonight, News 13 investigative reporter Larry Parker exposes wild waste in the wide open spaces.
It's a bizarre government project.
I had to admit, I did not know what it was.
It cost taxpayers a ton of money. Was this $500,000 well spent?
No, it was not.
A quiet backroom deal.
I think the public's going to have a difficult time saying, hey, there's a benefit to me.
It was so obscure that it sailed through a legislative spending bill 4 years ago unnoticed. Sandwiched between rural water systems and school construction money was $500,000 for an art preservation project in Catron County. At the time, Senator, did you have any idea what this was about?
Had no idea.
The project kind of appeared in the Capitol bill at the 11th hour. It was a governor's project, and I had no prior knowledge to it.
Lawmakers approved the project without any questions or debate. The money went to the Museum of New Mexico to purchase a $500,000 art preservation project.
It's held in the collections of the New Mexico Museum of Art.
Veronica Gonzalez is the Cultural Affairs Cabinet Secretary.
It's part of our collection.
Is it on display next to the O'Keefe?
No, it isn't.
The valuable item is not for show. It's tucked away in a basement file cabinet.
It's a piece of paper. It's a deed.
The technical name is the Quemato Basin Conservation Easement. It covers 5,400 acres of rugged Catron County cow country. But the state did not use the $500,000 to buy this property. This is still a privately owned cattle ranch.
So what does all this uninhabited rangeland have to do with art preservation? And where's the art?
Welcome to the Lightning Field, north of Pie Town. 400 stainless steel poles evenly spaced in a grid pattern a mile wide. Now, the Lightning Field is not some top secret government research project. In fact, it has little to do with lightning or science. You see, this is an avant-garde art project created 34 years ago by New York sculptor Walter de Maria. Professor Kirsten Buick is chair of UNM's Art History Department.
It is a work of art because we go there with the intention of experiencing something that is amazing and beautiful and profound.
This unique sculpture is located on the western New Mexico prairie, some 15 miles from civilization. But it's not for everybody. In fact, for most tourists, the Lightning Field is strictly off limits. Does the tourism department promote the Lightning Field?
No.
Monique Jacobson is New Mexico's tourism secretary.
We have so many treasures here in New Mexico, and this has not been one that we have actively chosen to promote.
You see, this artistic creation is owned by the New York-based Dia Art Foundation. Access is by reservation only, limited to 1,100 visitors a year, and costs as much as $250 a person. And don't even think about taking your camera. The foundation prohibits all photography. In fact, you're looking at the first video glimpse of this copyrighted sculpture. A Lightning Field visit requires a 24-hour overnight stay in a rustic log cabin. It is from here that art connoisseurs enjoy the vast forest of stainless steel poles set against a backdrop of a clear blue sky. You see, this is not just art, it's an experience.
And the experience depends on a pristine environment. That's why its home is on the range in the wide open spaces. You see, it simply would not do to have a super Walmart or a bunch of condos spoil the background. How does the New York Art Foundation guarantee an unspoiled view of its stainless steel rods? Well, you find a partner with deep pockets. Who else? New Mexico taxpayers.
Here's how it worked. A Pie Town rancher owns the cattle range adjacent to the Lightning Field. In order to protect the view, state legislators handed the cattle baron $500,000 in exchange for his agreement not to develop the land. A stipulation of the deal: no public access.
So, thanks to taxpayers, a handful of private art patrons can be assured of an artistic experience that includes stainless steel poles against a backdrop of nothing more than clear blue sky. But there's a big problem. You see, any expenditure of state money must be for a public purpose and benefit. That's the law. There's nothing public about the lightning field.
Extremely unusual that we would purchase a conservation easement to protect a privately held piece of art on a private piece of property.
State Rep Don Tripp serves Catron County.
How do your constituents in Catron County, how do they benefit from this $500,000?
They really don't. There's no benefit to the constituents.
John Arthur Smith is chair of the Senate Finance Committee.
The public can argue that it's a waste of dollars, and number two, we don't get the benefit of it.
How did this happen? Our investigation found the fingerprints of former Governor Bill Richardson all over this backroom deal. After being quietly approached by the Dia Art Foundation, Richardson secretly slipped the $500,000 appropriation into the '07 bill, disguising it as art preservation.
It was within the governor's budgeted allocation for capital outlay, and so I didn't question it any further.
Former Cultural Affairs Secretary Stuart Ashman inked the deal in 2008. Today, Richardson is out of office. The money is gone, but the lightning field view is protected forever.
If we could spend money on what people need to live and survive, the water systems, clean water systems, I think it's a travesty to spend it this way.
Oftentimes in the legislature, the money is perceived as ours and not taxpayer dollars. But if we can communicate the fact that we're spending taxpayer dollars up here, it's sort of lost in the process, then hopefully we will be as responsible as if we were spending our own individual dollars in our household.
Larry Barker, KRQE News 13.
Well, the Dia Art Foundation did not respond to our repeated requests for comment, and the State Archives has not been able to locate the Richardson administration file on this particular project.